Hello, my name is Jeremy Pineda, and this is my level, The Escape. The Escape is made up of three areas: the parking lot, the wasteland, and the courtyard. The player will first start off by jumping into the parking lot, where they will be prompted to find and fix a repairable car. They will follow a path that will lead them to the first of many interactives, such as opening a trunk to obtain a collectible, and opening a door, which will also reward them by collecting a collectible. These collectibles are gas cans and car parts, which will be needed to repair this car in the middle, which will prompt the player that they will need 6 car parts and 10 gas cans to be able to collect or to repair that vehicle. This essentially is the level's end goal, and will basically initiate the finish for this level. The player will then continue the path and ideally lead them to the path to the right, which should take them to the wasteland. This path is covered by mines. As prompted by the scrapper, the mines are very active, and if they don't proceed with caution, they will take damage. If they take too much damage, they will be killed and respawned at the previous checkpoint. Ideally, the player is supposed to travel the mines without taking too much damage to reach this console in the center, which will allow them to press E. Once they reach this console and press E, this should disarm the mine so that they can safely cross. Reaching the wasteland, they will be prompted that there is a sandstorm that is picking up. This sandstorm, while being in this area, will deal damage over time, so the longer you spend in here, the more damage you will take. The more damage you take, of course, will eventually just kill you. Ideally, there will be health packs all over this place to manage your health and create more time, essentially, for you to spend in this area. Hitting this interactive, or this puzzle right here, you're going to hit the shift key, or the player will hit the shift key to change their views to be able to remove a tire, which will reveal a car part. After completing that puzzle, they will follow the path again, hitting more interactives of trunks that will lead them to a fence that they won't be able to jump over unless they stack boxes centered on the gate. The boxes will snap onto the center of the gate, creating this staircase that would allow them to jump on and jump over. Ideally, there is no set path, the right path for the player to take to be able to complete this debris setup. This is supposed to be a setup where a building fell over and there's just a bunch of building parts and pieces just here and there in this pathway, just blocking or obstructing this area and blocking the gate for the player to really get through or open it. So they have to jump over it by platforming through that debris area. Upon reaching the courtyard, the player will first find this car that's tipped over that has a gas can right underneath it. But the only way to get to it is by crouching under the car. After retrieving that gas can, they will follow this path that will lead them to another interactive where they will retrieve a car part. The last one was a gas can. I'm sorry. Apologies. After retrieving those 2 items, they will approach this fountain where they will see a gas can in it. This fountain is filled with toxic, so if the player is low on health or does spend too much time in this toxic fountain, they will take damage, and it may kill them and reset them to the previous checkpoint. After reaching or getting the gas can and getting out, they will then approach the last interactive or the last gas can and interact with that trunk and retrieve it. Approaching this gate, the scrapper will prompt the player that it's shut and it can't be opened, but it seems rusty. And it would hint the player to go to get the bucket and take it to the fountain that has toxic in it and fill the bucket with toxic so that they can throw it at the fence and corrode the gate. After doing so, you have a similar setup where there's a field of mines and you have to get to a console in the center that will disarm the mines. And then the player can safely proceed through. The player should by now have enough car parts and gas cans to be able to go to the center vehicle and reach the end, which should conclude the level by initiating a cutscene that would just make the player or put the player in the vehicle and they would drive off into the distance. This was the end of my level. Thank you for watching.